this Triumph.
Okay.
Yeah, 1970 Triumph TR6C. It's got
That
the
is beautiful,
low
man.
exhaust
Wow.
on it.
It is just absolutely gorgeous. Right, when did Triumph go to the left side shift? Or did they
Gosh,
ever?
I don't know. Probably 73, somewhere in there.
I got the Hagon shocks on the rear. I got those on the GL. Very
Yeah,
happy with it. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Is this original or is this new restored?
Oh no, this was a rider, a Triumph mechanic down in Coral Springs owned it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you really know these old bikes, all you have to do is roll them across the floor and you
Sure.
can tell if they're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. This is a Spitfire 650.
Okay.
That one would take a while to get it running again, but it runs.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the fastest bike in the world in, I don't know, 66 and 7.
Wow.
Yeah, about over 130 miles an hour out of the box.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
But it's oh, that's a scrambler, 6-speed scrambler.
So this is a bike I bought. I outbid Orange County Choppers, the Toodles. I stayed up
great.
till 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's the only BSA they ever made without an emblem on the tank.
Okay.
Yeah, 1970 Firebird Scrambler. Yeah.
Very cool.
And this is a 70 Triumph TR6 that hasn't been started since 1979.
Okay.
But it runs, great compression.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Police Moto Guzzi.
Mm-hmm.
You know that movie, that Clint Eastwood movie, where the cops were killing all the bad guys? They weren't riding Harley police bikes, they were riding Moto Guzzis.
Yeah.
And the jump scenes were Triumphs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is an interesting bike. This is the Spitfire ended in '67, and they went to the Firebird Scrambler.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very rare luggage rack.
Okay.
Shit, the luggage rack's probably worth $1,000.
Uh,
Great bike. I rode that quite a bit.
you were telling me about this earlier, the Legacy Convert.
It's not a real army bike. We just have it painted up like we call it the NATO bike.
Uh-huh.
It's an old G5, and somebody put a 4 or 5 speed in that.
Okay.
Pretty interesting bike. Very distressed looking, but runs great.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sidecar used to be on it, didn't it?
It did. It goes on a BSA B50,
Okay.
which actually has a 600 big bore kit on it. I'm waiting to get
Great.
it back and ride it.
Somebody local working on that?
Yeah. This is kind of a rare bike. It's got a history. It's been to Europe a couple of times, and the guy that owned it he was a journalist and used to write stories about his adventures over in Europe riding that bike around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is that the factory fairing on the front? Surely not.
Well, I'm not sure if it's factory, but this is the Miss Piggy bike.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's the Miss Piggy fairing.
I love that, man.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
What a place. Do you want to come across or?
Sure. Behind you got a 650 Hornet
Okay.
and KZ 750 Twin.
Sure. Go ahead.
250 Starfire. Triton. 3-cylinder, 5-speed.
Oh, those are, yeah. So which, educate somebody who's not a British bike enthusiast, what came first, the Rocket 3 or the Trident?
They both came out at the same time.
Oh, okay, that's what you're
Yeah,
talking about with Trident and
yeah.
BSA just kind of being
BSA
different.
owned Triumph, and they launched them both.
Okay, okay.
This was my attempt at a cafe racer. It's got
That's cool.
megacycle cams and just, an oil cooler on it, just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
High compression pistons and 5-gallon Euro tank on it.
I love the double headlights on these things.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, that was kind of a nod to the Speed Triple.
Uh-huh. Oh, sure.
Little BSA chop.
Okay. What do we got over here?
It's a neat bike. It was a barn find out of Maine.
Mm-hmm.
It's It's got the Italian police dashboard. You can see instead of saying
Oh, very cool.
instead of saying oil, they say olio.
Yeah.
And instead of saying lights, they say luci.
Oh, that's great.
Runs great.
Uh-huh.
Cool floorboards on it too.
Wow, those are enormous.
Yeah, they
Wow.
are. I think they call those surfboards.
I can see why.
This is a great bike.
Uh-huh.
This is a 750 Ambassador, but we suspect that it has 1,000cc jugs on it.
Okay.
And it sounds like a Ferrari when you...
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Beautiful Rocket 3 without
Yeah.
the seat on it. And one of the side...
The paint on this is
panels
just
on it.
phenomenal.
Yeah, very good painter out in Seattle, Washington. Yeah, it's candy apple red over some kind of silver metal.
That's gorgeous.
But Roger Ray gun
Love the
exhaust.
exhaust.
Yeah. And you know, when they won Daytona first, second, and third, that's the exhaust they used.
Really?
Yeah, they tried some trick factory exhaust, and it didn't. They didn't get the performance out of it. The stock exhaust
That's
is what
awesome.
they used to win.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else here. That's not my Harley, but
Another Trident.
yeah, another Trident. Surprisingly, the BSA triple was faster than the Triumph Trident.
Really?
Triple.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
RM 250?
No, 400.
Oh, 400, okay.
Yeah, last of the two shock suspension on the back. It's been restored. It's only got 15 minutes on the motor. It's a period correct trick pipe. Yeah, very nice bike. Sure. I just, rooster tails forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
You want to see a V11? Or?
Yeah, sure. Let's check that out.
Yeah, there's the Greg Bender Yellow Goozy.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on this little tractor site
Mm-hmm.
and look for El Dorado Project,
Mm-hmm.
he documented every single thing he did to rebuild this bike.
Oh, wow. I'll check that out.
Gosh, I mean, it's like today I removed a set screw and examined it and
Yeah.
decided that it was needed to be replaced.
Wow. I love guys that are that thorough,
Oh my gosh.
that meticulous with the builds.
But Greg's a good guy. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's also very nice to be around.
Very cool.
It's V11 Sport 2004. It's got the M4 exhaust, carbon exhaust.
This sounds phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
it
rode
does.
behind you
Oh
on
my
this.
God. Did you?
Yeah, we went. I forget where. We just
Where
rode
we
down the
go?
road.
Yeah.
Another brewery over near the
Could
airport.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I remember how good this bike sounded.
That's not a real Coppa Italia. That's the I forget the model name, but anyways, the tank started leaking, and I got a replacement tank, and this is what they sent me as an unpainted tank. And I called them back and said, "Hey, this is a painted tank," and they said, "Yeah, we got a bunch of these, and we're never going to sell them, so that's our unpainted tank."
Wow.
And I said, "Well, do you have the the bikini fairing and the the rear
Sure.
bump?" And they said, "Sure." So I mocked up this Coppa Italia.
That's great.
Yeah. Now
Is that-
this is a sweet bike. This is a real Cafe Sport 2004. It's got the Trick Olean's suspension as well as the Trick exhaust, and just a wonderful bike. Got it out in Seattle
Okay.
from a guy who never read it in the rain.
Wow.
So
That's the kind of
it's
stuff you want to buy.
Very low mileage.
Yeah. Another Thunderbolt there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Another T3. We have several T3s. Great bike. Original owner. When I picked it up from him, the guy cried.
Oh man.
Bought it brand new in '74.
Wow. I guess I sort of don't understand why people sell stuff like that.
The guy was just getting too old to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some stuff like that that I have such a, well, like my first car, my 79 Volvo 240, and my 78 Goldwing, the first bike I built. Both of those are going to my grave one way or another.
Don't
Neither,
say.
neither are particularly desirable, machines or anything. But I've joked often that the Goldwing is just going to be a rusty flower pot in the backyard before I sell
Hey,
it.
here, this is neat. These are original photographs that a guy brought into me. He took them, and he was a flat tracker back in the 70s, and also a photographer, and he took these pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You ever get down to I think Travelers Rest?
Yeah,
Speedway?
no,
Maybe
I
a dirt
haven't,
track down there?
but I've driven by there when they were running. It
Yeah.
sounded great.
Yeah, that's a fun event for sure.
Definitely.
Well, Steve, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Alrighty.
And if you're ever in the area, stop in and check out the Greenhouse Moto Cafe.
Please.